Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to get through a few news items. China's not buying U.S. beans, and it was stated that if they're not competitive, they're not buying, and they're not competitive. They're buying from Brazil for sure. And yesterday, the Canadian budget was released, and definitely announcing a generational debt on their spending policies, and that's not to be expected, other than would like to have less debt rather than more debt. And I'm going to say the same thing with any of the guys I work with. Beijing lifts some tariffs on U.S. goods, and so this is the first take of an article that we saw how China is actually reacting to what the U.S. is saying as well. But China ends retaliatory tariffs on U.S. agricultural products. China keeps the 10% tariffs on all goods. So that 10% tariff is that tariff that got announced on Liberation Day, as you can see right here. And Trump and the White House are quick to issue their take on the meeting, but the Chinese side did not immediately give details of the summary which was agreed. The tariff cut nonetheless leaves China buyers of U.S. soybeans facing tariffs of 13%, a cost traders said makes U.S. shipments too expensive for commercial buyers compared to Brazilian alternatives. Beijing has yet to confirm those figures of the 12 and the 25 that have been talked about. So the Chinese buyers just recently bought 20 cargoes from Brazil. Next noteworthy thing, they did buy a slight amount there. Chinese cabinet said that it would also suspend 1 year of the 24% additional tariffs it imposed on goods. India's rapeseed planting is hitting records, so I'm going to say all plantings of oilseed seems to be well elevated this year, and it's probably going to continue even into the U.S. and the northern hemisphere. So far, we've got glimpses that Europe has planted more oilseeds. Same thing with now India. I would expect, because wheat profitability and other crops profitability is not good, that there's going to be a lot more planting. So get those sales made for old crop and new crop. Here's just a release of the budget. I got a couple of them here, so hopefully they play well.
Hi there, and welcome back to a special edition of Power Play. I'm Vashti Capello, coming to you live this evening from the foyer of the House of Commons. We're continuing our coverage of the federal budget and reaction to it. To that end, I have with me here the House Leader for the Conservatives. Earlier, I teed you up as the government House Leader, but no, the House Leader of the Conservatives, Andrew Scheer, who's with me here in the foyer live. Mr. Scheer, before I get into your reaction budget, I got to ask you, we just got into our inbox. An MP of yours, Chris d'Entremont, has quit caucus, has resigned from caucus. Your reaction to that and what it says about your party?
Well, it's disappointing that Chris d'Entremont has decided that he doesn't want to fight for a more affordable life for Canadians, that he doesn't want to fight inflationary deficits that are driving up grocery prices in his riding. You know, he's now telling constituents that he just got their votes just a few months ago, that now he's in favor of the industrial carbon tax on things like farm equipment and fertilizer, driving up food costs, that he's in favor of fuel standards that the Liberals are imposing that's going to increase gasoline by 17 cents a litre. So, you know, he'll have to go back to the supporters in his riding that dug deep into their own pockets to support his campaign and explain why he took their precious time and resources and then turn their back on them just a few months later.
Might it be that he doesn't think your party's solutions are the correct ones now?
Well, you know, he ran on them in the platform. He saw our platform and he said, yes, I support all this back in April when Conservatives were offering hope to young Canadians who couldn't find jobs, who had to move back in with their parents, back into their parents' space.
Now, and I'm hoping Melissa Lantsman can answer some very specific questions. I think you're there and ready to go, Melissa Lantsman. What's going on with Chris d'Entremont?
We're not talking about the budget?
We'll get to that.
I would hope we could take a few minutes to talk about
we absolutely will.
Generational debt that we've just been piled.
Well, we will, but let's just talk about the sudden resignation. Chris d'Entremont has resigned from your caucus. What is the view from your office there?
Look, Chris has, like Lisa said, Chris has made a choice, and I think the choice is, you know, not to fight inflation, not to fight to lower grocery prices and lower the cost of homes like his constituents elected him to do. And I suspect that if Chris was deputy speaker, that he probably wouldn't resign.
Okay, so I get the pushback, but just help me walk me through the process. Was there a warning that Mr. d'Entremont was feeling this way, or did you learn about it in the Politico article today?
This is Chris's decision, so I think you can ask him how that all came to be. I certainly didn't know about it, but I'm telling you that Chris made a choice today not to fight for what his constituents sent him here to fight for.
Is it your understanding that he is sitting as an independent?
I don't know. I don't know what the letter says. Maybe you can tell me, or if there's a letter.
Well, I do not know this either. I was texting with people in Mr. Poilievre's office saying we heard he's getting thrown out and that it's happening now.
He certainly wasn't thrown out. Let's make that clear.
I know, but that was the point, is that I was told that he has resigned from the Conservative caucus, but not as a member of Parliament. Your understanding is still...
That is my understanding, yeah.
Okay, all right, well, we obviously need Chris d'Entremont to come down, but this is not this is not a good thing to have happen, Ms. Landsman. That, you know, for the Conservatives, the Liberals need 3 votes to get this budget through. Your leader has a leadership review coming up, and here you have one of your few Atlantic MPs leaving.
Yeah, well, look, I don't think those things are necessarily connected. I think Chris has a lot of time to figure out how he's going to vote on the budget. He ran on predicated on the fact that he was going to make life more affordable for Canadians. If that's what he is going to do, then I can't see how he possibly votes for this budget. But I think time will tell on that, and we can talk about all of the speculation about who votes how. But today we can talk about this this budget, which I think was a really expensive one and a really long speech. Responsible for the rise in food and housing and everything.
No, that's not like there is no. The economic analysis on the impact on food puts it at 0.5 to 0.8%. This is what Trevor Toome and others
So you're
looked at.
telling me that the industrial carbon tax on fertilizer, on fuel, on farming equipment does not pass down in the price of food
97% of emissions on a farm are exempt from
I
the
don't
carbon
know
tax.
how you can look Canadians in the eye and say that the price of food hasn't skyrocketed and these are the reasons for it.
Well, the price of food has skyrocketed.
Packaging taxes.
Well, there's also currency changes. There's climate change that has
You're a
led
better
to drought.
defender of the government's budget than they are.
I have read Trevor Toome's analysis, and I go with the experts on.
Yeah, I had to play Landsman, just owning him. Holy smoke, did she get a good one? That was a zinger. Democrats sweep first major elections. So there were some senators got elected, and sure, they're definitely not Republican states or well-known Republican states, but Trump's lean in there, suggesting that he was that they were going to win is it didn't happen. So let's a quick look at the weather. I just looked at the precipitation anomalies, and there's really nothing in North America to speak of. And then Europe, there is some moisture actually showing up in some areas, but real no drought. So this is Asia, but you can see that some parts of China and some of the east is getting moisture. And here's Europe itself, and there's some moisture in the conflict areas there for sure. Here's South America, and really nothing to see. So let's just move on. Markets today, canola is sitting right at 640 off the January. Basically have done nothing so far. There's been some big ranges of trade during the day, so you just take note of that. Add some stress if you're just looking at the markets all day for sure. Rapeseed up a buck, sitting at $480. Soybean oil basically doing nothing as well. Wheats, I would say, is doing nothing as well. Soybeans currently trading just a penny up or half a penny up. So if we have a look at the canola here, we're basically going sideways with some bigger candles. That's what I was saying. There's some wild trading, but you've got the the 100-day and the 200-day above here, but trading at the 50-day moving averages, and the 20 and the 9-day EMA are basically creating support for it. Same thing with the November futures. I would still be looking at pricing some grain out there with that $30-some carry going out into that market for sure. Your European rapeseed trading above the 200-day moving average, which is a good sign. Now it just needs to get elevated and get going here, and that would support the canola as well. The canola differential right now is sitting at $138, almost $139. More expensive in Europe than it is in Canada on the Canadian canola. Part of the reason for the fall is weakness in the oils, and the palm oil has fallen apart. It looks like it might be trying to catch a little bit of a pause here. Would like to see that happen, and a lot of weight on the market with the crude oil being where it is and where it was versus as a price. And you can't tell me it's not by design. $60 barrel definitely puts pressure on profitability of using renewable fuels for sure. Soybean oil trying to break through and fall apart here, but it's still holding up decent. Soybean futures pause yesterday. We'll see how it trades out throughout the day here, but good climb there. But now news of no set purchases there yet, and the close with the government still being closed, it's a big deal. Back to the soybean futures for new crop. I have told a few clients to get the just futures first and go to Cargill, of course, and let's see if some other participants will allow some pricing for next year. Just grabbing the futures only kind of pricing. Canadian dollar still continue to fall down to my take profit target on any shorts that anybody has. But we break through below here, we're going to go to a 70-cent barrel or a dollar here. U.S. dollar index right up against the 200-day moving average, and you just look at Brazil in comparison where they were as well. U.S. dollar Brazilian index, the euro falling off from some of the highs that it's been at, supporting the U.S. dollar index going up. Here's your wheat, and if we just look at spring wheat, so this is spring, and it's just a tough grind going down. So what I did is just look at this one is Kansas and this one is Chicago, and just taking a snapshot of price increases in a short timeline as well. And you can definitely say that there's Kansas is the leader in that one. So you can see it here. We broke above this long trend line. I would love to see it above the 200-day moving average and be very patient for some more sales if we're going to get above that, because that would take us above there. And the move above this previous peak that we saw there would definitely make a bullish signal as well. Same thing with the Kansas, but the bullish signal would be way up here. It's above the $6 mark. Not going to be far from getting above the 200-day EMA or moving average, and your downtrend that is well established. The French milling wheat is above the downtrend, but these are the other areas where you would have to be looking at pricing if we can get through there and continue. Corn futures still chugging along. We are making higher highs here on this wave analysis if you just look at this little box here. But to be completely honest, you need to be bullish. You need to get above there, and pricing into that range would be 455. Live cattle futures. Looks like we're trying to create a little bit of a bottom here, even though we've had some wild days. Same thing with the feeder cattle. Hogs. Looks like we're getting to an oversold position here as well. That's all I have for you. And December 4th is not likely to be a good day for the Canadian farms. If we don't have prices sold before that, I think there's not much we can say more than that. Hopefully, the U.S. government can get reopened and start providing some clarity on some of the information of their sales and stuff like that. That's all I have for you.